Hi, welcome to the next tutorial, and today we are going to work on a DIY dry erase photo frame. So for a long time I've been using photo frames as dry erase boards, and hey, I thought we could make some clever inserts for a bunch of different occasions together. We're going to make two using Pixlr. So we've used that in previous tutorials here, and we're going to open up pixlr.com and choose the Pixlr E Advanced Photo Editor. Now the photo frame that I'm working with is a 6 by 8 inch photo. So we're going to create a new image. I'm going to call it dry erase. Let's call this menu planner. For the width, we're going to have 1800 pixels, and for the height, we're going to have 2400 pixels. That translates at a 300 DPI to 6 by 8 inches. I want to choose a white background, click create, and there we have our dry erase board. Now this could go in either way. We could have it this way, we could have it the other way, but for a menu, I figured this might be the way. I'm going to be working with a few goodies I picked up at Creative Fabrica today, including this magnificent font, Christmas wedding font. Isn't that gorgeous? So pretty. So I've already downloaded that. You get numbers, you get a lot of punctuation, and these beautiful brush strokey kind of font. I'm also going to work for this piece with this red and grey floral digital paper. There are links to both so that you can find everything really easily. So let's go over into Pixlr, and for the menu board we're going to keep it really simple but make it kind of look classy. Remember that when you've got something in a frame, there is a section that will be underneath the edges of the frame, so we don't take everything exactly to the edge. Let's go File, Open Image, use my folder. So I've downloaded these, and let's go, I'm a big fan of the red. I do want to layer it up just a tiny little bit. So I'm going to start with this one. We want this to be a full HD, so we're going to click apply, and now we have this open. So instead of being red and white, this is a gorgeous red and beige. I am digging this. What a cool piece. So we're going to copy. So if you're on a laptop, Control A to select and Control C to copy. I'm on a Mac, so I'm going to go Command C, and now I've copied that paper. I don't need that anymore, so I'm going to close that one down. And now we're going to paste it in with a Control V or a Command V. You can see this doesn't take up the whole piece, and when you click on it, you get this blue border. We're going to click and drag on one of those white squares in the corner, just so that it fills the whole page. And I like where the pattern has landed there. Look at that. That looks fantastic. Next thing we're going to do is put in another layer. This is kind of going to be my border, which is kind of a shame because I like it. We're going to go File, Open, or Control O or Command O, and we're going to choose something a little bit more subtle. I think this one here looks fantastic. I'm going to click Apply. Oh, look at that. That is so nice. So I'm going to copy this with Control C or Command C, and we don't need that anymore. So I'm going to paste it with a Command V, and I'm going to just trying to figure out how much of a border I want on this. So the next thing to do here is, we can see it goes left to right. I kind of like it, but I do want red all the way around. So I'm going to take this tool here, the marquee select, and take out from each side approximately the same amount that is at the top. We can always take out a little bit more, that's no problem. You want to make sure that you are highlighting here the layer that we're on over here on the right hand side of the screen, and just delete is going to take that away. That works quite nicely. So now we want to take away, going to highlight it by clicking and dragging, make sure we're on this layer, click delete. Ooh, look at that. That is looking very nice. The last thing I want to do is I'm going to leave a little up the top as full color, but this down here, I want to do an adjustment. So for adjustment, I'm going to go to hue and saturation, and lightness, I am going to bump up. Now I don't need to bump it too far up because otherwise it won't print out. That 18 mark is good. So I've just taken the slider here to 18, or you could click in this box and just type in 18. And now I'm clicking apply, so that now the section up here is full colored, but this here has been desaturated. That means that when you write on this with a whiteboard marker, it's going to show up easily. Whereas when you've got a really busy background, it's not going to show as well. So there's a little interest, but it's not overwhelming. Now it is time for us to add some text. We're going to click on the text tool, and I want to add text, but I want to change the font. And I want to add the new font. So the new font that I'm adding, we'll just go back to here, is this. This is the font that I want to add, and look at that, it has installed our fantastic Christmas wedding font into the computer. So I've double clicked on that to highlight it, and we're going to put in the word menu. Obviously that is just a fraction too small, so let's double click on that to highlight, click on the size and slide this up until we get the size that we want. Now that is a little large for the section that I have at the top, so I am going to just slide that down a little bit. That's much better. And there we go, we have the word menu at the top here, which is well placed. I think I will move it up just a bit. I'm going to use the arrow key so I can get teeny tiny movements, but that is looking good. I think I want to put a little bit more detail in here. So let's go back to our text, and as we know, Pixlr is free to use, so we get ads every now and then, so I'm just going to click that away. Let's put the days of the week down here. So I've just clicked on it. We want to add a new text layer. And I'm going to have M, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Already I can tell this is too big, so I'm just going to make that a little bit smaller. Click on the size. Just shrink that down a fraction. I'm also going to change the format to aligned left. And now I'm going to come back to my text tool and continue on. I double click to get that highlighted Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Oh, that is quite well placed. So to get the move arrows on there, I've just done that. And so now when I click away to the right hand side in the black screen, there we go. We've got the days of the week: Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Now you can lay that out depending on how your week runs. Sometimes you might start your week on a Sunday. So in that case, just put the Sunday up the top and have it running that way. But I am a big fan of this, and I think now is the time where it is ready. So I'm going to go Layer, Flatten Image, File, Save As, got the name. I'm going to click Download. So that's going to go into my download section, and it means that I can take this to print at my local photo place, or you can audio print online, or you can print it on your own computer. Now, if you are printing on your own computer and you want to print that on a piece of A4 paper, that's quite simple. We're going to create a new image. When you are trying to figure out how big pixels should be for an A4 page, I'm going to show you how I do that. We're going to go to Google and just type in convert A4 to pixels. Let's go and turn this into an A4 page. Let's call it photo frame dry erase printables A4. Okay, so our width is going to be, you know what, I'm going to make it landscape, so I'm going to make it 3508, tab down to the height, which is 2480. So if you're wondering how does Dawn miraculously know this pixels, Dawn Googles it. That's how I know. So again, if you were doing a 5x7 frame, or you were doing a 6x4 frame or a 10x8 frame, just make that Google search to figure out how it's done. I'm going to copy this, so Control C or Command C, and now I'm going to paste it here. I'm going to click over to our Arrange, which is our Move tool, click away the ad, and just pop that into place. So now I can print that on A4. The alternative is I'm actually going to go down here, see the history, where I'm going to go back to Open, and I'm going to flip this because I thought I might be able to fit two side by side. that is not the case. Oh, and if you are overseas, maybe if you're in the US, you might have letter size. Just have a look and see what the pixels are for letter size. I want image rotation. I'm just going to rotate that. So now I'm going to paste that in there, move it there. So now I can print that at home, or I can take this to my copy shop and have it printed out, and this piece can be trimmed up with your trimmer and just put inside your picture frame. I'll show you how I do that later, but I thought while we're at it, let's make another one, shall we? So I'm going to get rid of that one because we don't need to keep that. And for this one, I'm going to, because we've already saved it as one, I'm going to go back to the beginning. Looks like we're limited to how far we can go back. So I'm going to delete this layer, click on the three dots, click on the bin, click on the three dots, click on the bin, because I've got another idea for this one. I need to get rid of the marching ant, so I'm just going to choose the marquee, click anywhere on the screen. For this one, I thought we would also do, this is something I actually want to do for my daughter. She's learning to maintain her tiny house, and I thought we might have a look at this gorgeous set. I'll link to all the sets I'm using in the tutorial, but this is called Household Equipment in Kawaii Doodle, and it's got all these cute little bits and pieces to remind her which jobs need doing. So we're going to make a checklist. So let's go back here, go File, Open, and we can keep this one really clean and simple. So I'm going to go look into here, and here is my household equipment. Oh, I'm very excited about this. I'm going to look in the PNG file because I want those images on a transparent background. So one of the jobs that she needs to remember to do is her laundry. She needs to do her washing. So let's open up the laundry basket. We want it full HD, so click Apply. And that's super cute. So you're going to Control A, Control C to highlight and copy if you're on a laptop. If you are on a Mac, Control C will do the job. And I don't need that anymore, so I'm going to close that one down. So I'm going to paste in the different jobs that she needs to learn to do. We're going to use the Arrange tool and just click away that ad, just to resize the little tasks. So I'm going to make a chore chart for her, and these are things that she needs to do every week. We'll come back later and we'll put some text onto this as well. So we're going to open, oops, we don't need a new image, we want to open an image. My mouse is a little bit, oh, there we go, there's the washing machine. That reminds her she needs to put items in her washing basket, but also she needs to, we're going to copy that, paste it in. She needs to remember to bring it down and put it through the washer and the dryer. I'm going to try and keep similar sizes on each of these. And then the next task that she needs to remember to do is put the clothes away. And I think that this icon does that really well. Oh, look at that, nicely folded shirts. We're going to copy this one, close it, and paste it onto our board. So when I move it, see, I'm moving it so that the tops line up, and then when I click and drag that bottom corner to make it smaller, it can keep a similar size. Although for this, I'm going to make the shirt smaller because, hey, shirts are not the size of a washing machine. And my mouse is not enjoying my keyboard. Okay, so there's one task that she needs to do. She needs to make sure she gathers up her clothes, washes them and dries them, and then puts them away. That's a pretty good chore chart. Now, if memory serves correctly, I think there is a similar set. If you're looking at something and you love the artist and the designer and you want to have a look at something else, this is Big Barn Doodles. I'm going to go view their profile and see if they've got another similar set, because it's oh wow, these are really cool. Why am I not following this person? Follow designer. My goodness. I may be able to find some similar sets that are other household things that she needs to do, so we can add them to this list. Here is the one I was looking for, household equipment. I'm going to open that in a new tab because I want to keep this one open and come back and have a look at it a little bit later on. So, household equipment. I think that's a really good one. So I'm going to download that for the fridge and for the rubbish. I think that's a good addition to her chore chart. And I've also found some kitchen equipment, so I'm going to open that one as well. It's because she needs to remember to clean her oven. Now that we're back in Pixel, I'm going to move a few things around because we've got to make some space for some of those cool new icons that I just downloaded. Okay, remember, don't go too close to the edge because you're going to have a part of this that is underneath the frame. So now that I have all of my icons in place, you'll notice there's not a lot of text, and that is because this is going to go behind glass, and she can just put a big cross with a black marker over the top of each of the piece of the jobs when they're done. So I'm going to come back here to the text tool. We're going to close down this add, and in the text tool I'm going to click on here. Yes, we do want to add a new layer of text. It'll bring up the lorem ipsum, your text here, and I'm going to type weekly housekeeping. I do want that box to be wider, so I'm going to go back to my arrange tool. I'm going to drag that box so that all of the words are on the same line, and I'm going to pop that up here, not too close to the top, not too close to each side. You'll see that when I moved it, a pink line came up. That means I have it centered, and that makes me very happy. So this is now ready to print as well. It looks fantastic. And all we have to do now is layer, flatten image, file, save. We've called this, we're not going to do this menu planner. This is weekly housekeeping. I'm going to call it 6x8 so that I know what size it is. I should have done that before. And click download. Now remember, because this is free software, you are going to get the ads. We wait for that, we close, and now we're done. So I'm going to take that, save it, take it to the printer, and if you hold tight for just a second, I'll be back to show you how we put the whole thing together. So the next thing to do is, now that I have my pieces printed, is to remove the backing from the frame, and this paper that's inside, that is what I'm going to use as a template. The menu that we did is very easy. I tested it, look at that, it lines right up. It's a perfect 6x8. So I've just slid that into my large trimmer because I printed this A3. I was going to print it as a photograph, but that would have cost me $3.90. This cost me $1.20. It was much more effective, and once it's in the frame, it doesn't matter if it's paper, photograph or cardstock, it's going to be really secure because there's glass on the front. So using my trimmer, I'm just trimming it down. This is a Fiskars 12-inch trimmer. You could use a blade and a ruler with a self-healing cutting mat, whichever way you want to do it. You can even use scissors, which I don't usually recommend, but the edges are going to be hidden inside the frame. Place your piece in, make sure it's right side up, put the back in, and there we go. We have got our menu that we can write on. The next thing to do is trim down the weekly housekeeping list. However, I didn't put a border around this one. I've learned I'll do that next time, and you can do that and learn from my mistake. But I used that insert as a template guide as well. You could also place it on and trace it around. I'm just in the habit of lining things up and cutting them. I very rarely do that. But again, you're not going to see those edges. They're going to be hidden underneath the frame. So you could definitely just place your template on, use a light box, or even just hold it up on a window on a bright day, and you can get everything lined up. I just happen to do it the hard way. You can do it the easy way. Now, it did get me to thinking about something with our dry erase board, and I recommend getting a frame that has a glass front, not a Perspex front. Glass is just going to clean up easier. Alternatively, if you are not interested in having frames all over your house, 100% you could laminate these and just blue tack or magnet them to your fridge. You can see here I have a dry erase board, how easy it is to just write on the front of the glass. I know I spelt stroganoff wrong. I'll go back and fix it, but it was so simple to just write on what's going to be up for dinner. Now I don't have to answer that question anymore, and it stands out nicely against that desaturated background. the border came in well. To erase, you can just use a tissue. If it doesn't erase, you can just scribble over it again with a dry erase marker, and that is going to refresh it and make it possible, even if the marker's been on there a long time, you can then come back in and erase it. Now for the chores list, remember I said she was just going to put crosses on. That's it. You can simply do that when you've finished each job. Some other ideas for lists and things that you can create to laminate or place into a dry erase frame include a calendar, checklists of any kind for kids to get ready in the morning, for yourself to get ready for a trip. You could do an event countdown, a packing list, even your to-do list or grocery shopping list. Put them in a frame, laminate them however you need to. Grab those digital papers, your clip art, your favorite fonts from Creative Fabrica, and turn them into something amazing. I really hope you had fun with this. See you next month.